What's up, Brewers fans? It is officially MLB award season, and while only one Brewer got an award this year, us three will be giving out team awards for the Brewers for the 2023 season. So we're gonna just get right into it, and we're gonna start off at the bottom. We're gonna go Rookie of the Year. We will go Rookie of the Year, the Disappointment of the Year, Gold Glovers, our Cy Young, our Most Improved Player, and then finally our MVP. So let's get started. Rookie of the Year. We can start down here, Noah. Who do you got?
Okay, I'm going with my boy Andrew Monasterio. I think this is the safe pick. I think this is the right pick. 259 batting average. I think he was consistent throughout the year, even though near the end he did have a couple dry spots, but consistently, I mean, his batting average is up there. Defensively, he was pretty much dominant on third base, especially when he got moved to second base. He kept that level of play up, was locking that down until Josh Donaldson came in and replaced him. But I do believe that he was definitely the star for the rookies, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and I'd say he's probably the biggest surprise out of the rookies too. We didn't know he was going to be coming up to the majors this year. I mean, he's been in the minors since 2014.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this to happen at all. And with that, my rookie of the year was also Andrew. He played 92 games, so it was less than Joey Wiemer and Bryce Durang, but I think he had the most production out of all the rookies in the time given that he had.
Absolutely. Yeah, and obviously I picked Andrew as well. Again, we said only 92 games, but he was pretty much, I hadn't really heard of him before the season started, and when we called him up, I was kind of like just thinking that he was only going to be here for a week or two, but he really made his mark on the team, and he's going to have a spot for a long time now. So he did a great job this year as a rookie, and that's what we got.
I feel like Andrew's one of those guys who if they have a solid call up to the majors, we'll still send him back down. But when we called him up, he was so good that we couldn't do anything but keep him on the roster.
He got an opportunity and he took it and he just grabbed hold of the seat, man. He was not backing down from anybody. So I mean, he really made the most of it, and it showed.
Now for our next award, or not really an award, but this is one you don't want to win. This is the Disappointment of the Year. So I guess I'll start this one. My Disappointment of the Year was Rowdy Tellez. A few years ago in 21, he hit 35 home runs, I believe. Was that last year?
I think it was last year.
Last year, he hit 35 home runs, yeah. And I kind of expected him to have a power surge again this year in 2023. He did not. He started off pretty good. He had most of his home runs came in May or April, and then he just fell off the face of the earth.
Yep.
We got Carlos Santana, and after that, he barely played. If he did, it was a DH role. He just, to me, I think this was his best, his best chance at really becoming a very good player for us, but he did not do it at all.
Did not shine.
He disappointed all of us.
Also a huge liability on defense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I didn't know how bad he was until I saw Carlos Santana at first, and I was like, oh my God, where was this all along?
Yeah.
It made me so sad to see Rowdy Tellez on first base throwing out some warm-up ground balls, man. I'm like, where's Santana?
Yeah. But, yeah, that was my Disappointment Player of the Year.
Okay. I had Rowdy as my runner-up. For my actual Disappointing Player of the Year, I had Eric Lauer.
Oh.
Okay. And that is because in 21 and 22, he was a huge part of our rotation. He had a sub-4 ERA. You knew he's going to go out there and give you he's going to get on the mound and give you an outing where you could win. And then coming to this year, if we don't have Colin Ray, we're going to be horrible because he was a big innings eater for us. But Lauer was horrible this year. He was so bad. He every game he pitched, I'm pretty sure we were losing. It was such a drastic decline from the last 2 years, and it really came out of nowhere because he was pretty good for us in 21 and 22. So
was he pitching that game we went to the Pirates when he gave up so many years old? No,
that was Colin Ray.
Oh, that was Colin Ray. Okay.
But yeah, he was a huge disappointment, and I was pretty sad to see how bad he was this year.
Very short-lived. But this guy, I did have Rowdy Tellez. I was thinking of him. But also, I just think this guy, when it came down to being clutch, we picked this guy up near the end of the season to bring the rain, and he did not do it for us this season. Josh Donaldson, times during the, I know, hey, maybe he didn't have too many games compared to other people, but in the postseason, he had bases loaded at least twice. I can remember at least twice. Runners in scoring position multiple times. Crowd was up, crowd was cheering. This man let us down time and time again. Pop fly, 200 feet in the air, it doesn't matter. This guy was just not there when we needed him. I mean, he stepped into the Brewers field house acting like he was the shit, and then he did not prove it. So he was very disappointing to me. Obviously, there's a lot of other guys got a lot more playing time to show how disappointed they were, but in the clutch, he wasn't there for me. So
okay, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think he was horrible with the Yankees, and we kind of just signed him like for the fuck of it. Like if he did good, great. If he did bad, then that's kind of what we expected because he kind of fell off.
That's true.
He's 37, so I mean the fact that he even got playing time, like the good minutes, good playing time at the end of the season was. That was good.
He improved on the Brewers offense.
I think he did, yeah. But again, I mean, yeah. I guess if you were looking for clutch,
I don't know. I think there's other people in his position that could have gotten some hits and driven some runs against the Diamondbacks.
I mean, I feel like we didn't even know he was going to be called up to the majors.
Right.
I thought he was going to be a AAA bat for us, to be honest. But I think that's respectable. Like he's a veteran, and you want him to bring some of that like clutchness to the team, and he didn't bring it.
That's why I went last. That's okay though.
Right. Next one.
Gold Glove.
Yeah, GG's.
Let's start off with me again. Okay.
Should Gio.
Okay, we'll start off with Gio.
Let's go in the middle.
Yeah, let's do Gio.
GGG for Gio's Gold Glove.
Gio's Gold Glove.
I think it's between two guys, William Contreras and Brett Strang, and I give it to Brett Strang. He before Brett Strang, we haven't had a guy as athletic, defensively as Brett Strang. I feel like he's making all these diving stops. He's I remember there's a good span of the season where he was making these game-changing diving stops. And without these stops, I don't know if we win these games. And he's just so gifted on the defensive side of the ball. All these plays that I think are not makeable, he will make them. And it's shocking. Ask a Rock. He's the greatest defender in the whole world. So yeah, that's who I had for Gold Glove.
I think he definitely for sure really shined. I think there's moments in the playoffs where he wasn't making some of these diving stops, and it was kind of surprising. It's because he was just making those plays consistently all year long. That when he wasn't making those clutch time plays, it's very disappointing. But only because he proved himself that he could do that. Mm-hmm. I think that he definitely was one of our Gold Glovers. South Frelick didn't get as much playing time, and in the outfield he made some highlight reel plays. I think
sure.
He was very fast, locked down everything in the outfield. Very confident when he was in center field,
mm-hmm.
And then Contreras, of course, behind the catchers, behind the backstop. Didn't have to worry too much about balls getting by or runners stealing. People didn't really attempt on him at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I'm gonna give it to Turang because at second base that did really feel very secure for us. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I also picked Turang. As a rookie, he was one of the best at his position in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he doesn't win a Gold Glove, at least a few in his career, something's not right because he's only going to improve from here. And like I said, he was the best, one of the best in his position as a rookie. So
mm-hmm.
there's only up from here for him, and I think he did.
Flying under the radar. I feel like most of the other
he only made a few errors in this year, if any. I can't really remember.
He truly got snubbed from the Gold Glove.
But yeah,
I don't think anybody looks at him though. Nobody anybody's not.
He wasn't good enough offensively to get a defensive award.
Right. Nobody really knows who he is other than Brewers fans and maybe division rivals. But other than that, he's kind of just really unheard of. So yeah. All right, next one.
We got our second.
I got all the stats for this one. I don't know what to go with. I got two.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So now for the Cy Young. This one, I don't know if I think it might surprise some people, but I picked Wade Miley as our Cy Young. Okay, so he pitched only 23 games. He was injured a little bit throughout the season, but he was he had a 9-4 record, a 3.14 ERA, and he only gave up 44 runs in 23 games. So
That's a great pick.
He was, in my opinion, being a 36-year-old, 37-year-old, however old he is, he's old.
An old man.
He really bounced back from last year. Obviously, with Cubs, he was hurt for pretty much the whole season, and he comes back with the Brewers, and he did great. And just he was kind of the bottom of a rotation. We had obviously Freddie, Woody, and Burns ahead of him. So as a fourth guy and having only a 3.14 ERA and being a very good, he gave up a lot of he was a contact pitcher, but he's gonna get you ground outs and he's not gonna give up many runs, which is very important, especially when our offense sometimes doesn't want to perform. So I think he was our Cy Young.
Yeah, for sure. Miley he was like the most solid guy throughout the whole year. Like he rarely got blown up.
Yeah.
Like I feel like every one of our starters.
He was he was consistent through the whole season. That's
he wasn't liable for home runs either.
Yeah. Okay, so for my Cy Young, it was between Miley and Burns, and overall I went with Burns just because he had 32 games to Miley's 23, and I think that plays a big part in a season. Like whoever can stay healthy and pitch throughout the season, and like he had I think a 3.39 ERA.
3.39.
His WAR, he had a 3.5 WAR. Like he was bringing a lot of production to the team. I think we had a 10-8 record with him, which isn't the best, but he ate a lot of innings for us, and we needed someone like him. And like he wasn't bad. He was like really good. He's like really good for us. But he would get blown up from time to time. But in the end, I think he deserved the Cy Young.
I'm gonna go with. It was between. I considered Peralta, but then I was checking the stats on this thing, and definitely going with Burns. 32 games pitched. I'd have to check how many innings, like his average innings, but it did feel like he only came out the game like early, maybe once or twice. He was there through. I think we snubbed him a couple times on some wins, with our offense just being vacant. Just the house is empty on that part. So his record 10-8 doesn't really show how much like the impact he brought on the pitching side, because he kept games that should have been blowouts. He kept them close. So that was really appreciative. He didn't have as many strikeouts. He had more walks than Peralta, less strikeouts than him. But I just think that he just controlled the game. Like when you think about him, there's a couple of like big home runs he gave up, but like over the course of the season, that wasn't really the case. He was just keeping games in control and giving the offense a chance to give it a win, even though we didn't give it a win most of the time for him. So I don't know, going to Burns with this one.
All right. Now for our most improved player, let's bring it down to Noah.
This might be a wild take. Y'all can say it as much as it is.
Oh, I'm ready.
Hobie Builder.
I would go with Hobie, but I love that man. Tyrone motherfucking Taylor. I think this guy was just... He didn't play most of the time. He didn't have as many plate appearances as he did last year. Last season, he had around 380 plus. This season, he had 140 less. But his doubles were up there. He was matching. He only had 10, 15 less RBIs than he did, which is still like a decent gap, but 140 plate appearances definitely could have made that up. I just think he just made a big impact when he was at the plate. I don't know if that's the major taste. I just feel like when he
especially
stepped
at the
up,
end of the year. He was hot, really hot at the end of the year.
He did good in the playoffs too.
Yeah, he had a big home run.
They were like clutch home runs too.
Thought he was.
Second coming of Christ.
Yeah, until
but, I mean,
almost hit that second home run too in the postseason. That was close.
But I mean, honestly, if we wanted to, we could give Tyrone every award except for disappointing player of the year.
Yeah, he's never disappointed.
He's never disappointing.
Yeah, so going with Tyrone Taylor on this one.
Okay, so I went with Yelly. I think like he had such an improvement from this year, from last year. Like he looked so good. Like
He did.
I didn't expect Yelich to have this improvement. I feel like as a team, we were like writing off Yelich because for like 2 years he was just gone. He was really bad. But he came back this year. He added 15 to his OPS plus. He had 6 more home runs, 19 more RBIs, and he played 144 games. Like he was there throughout the whole season.
He was.
Like we need those kind of guys. He was almost like one of our Iron Man.
The Rock.
Yeah, he's our Rock.
Yeah, mine was Yelich as well. His power finally came back. He almost hit 20 home runs. He hit 19. His batting average really went up, and his on-base percentage went up as well. 278 batting average and a 370 on-base percentage. I think, this reminded me of his 2017 season with the Marlins. Right before he broke out in 2018, he was, always was a very solid player, but he's just gonna, he came back to being very solid and an actual reliable person on offense. So.
He was reliable. That's like all you want from a hitter.
Yeah.
And he really was.
Especially in the leadoff spot, he would put ours. He was part of the reason our leaving runners in base and scoring position was up so high. I mean, he'd get on base and he'd sit there and then he wouldn't score. But I mean, he at least would start the inning off hot.
Yeah.
He was fidgeting around with his like batting stance. It just felt like he was more comfortable in the box this year.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
just led to a lot more.
I think his back pain, kind of went down this year as well. I think he, like you said, was more comfortable like with his swing, and that really obviously helped this year. So
yeah,
that's my most improved player as well.
That's a good one.
Now for the big one.
MVP.
MVP.
All right, I'll start.
All
I
right,
got
we'll
this
see
one.
Mickey starting the MVP.
This one, I love this man. He's my favorite player, but it's no bias here. I think everyone kind of figured this out. William Contreras.
Come on now.
Best catcher. I think he's the best catcher in the National League. His defense improved so much from with Atlanta. We have a catching lab here in Milwaukee because any catcher that we bring in just turns into defensive gods.
Caratini, Narvaez.
Right. And plus
they're
when,
in there.
yeah,
Mix it up.
for sure. When you can hit 289 as a catcher, along with the power that he brought, he's just such a impact player. I think he will be. He should have been an All-Star this year, but he will definitely be a future multi-time All-Star with us. But yeah, I think it's just pretty obvious. Just look at the stats. He is our best player by far, and yeah.
I had William too.
Oh.
I feel he was only tapping into his power because what he only hit like 20 something home runs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Our ex-manager Craig said that
Boo.
he thinks he could hit up to 40 home runs, which I could see it. I feel like he's only tapping into his offensive prowess, and I'm really happy that he's on our team. Like, I didn't know we were gonna get him. He was season-defining trade, and he truly did deserve it more than anyone. Like,
He did.
Yeah.
he was the most consistent throughout the whole year, and he brought the best numbers. He brought the best production.
Yeah, for sure.
The only real person bringing in an award that's not participation from us giving out here. William Contreras, obviously the MVP, unanimous across the board because.
Thank you for not saying some wild shit, bro.
No, I got you, bro. Because Mr. Consistent, I mean, come on, stop playing. 38 doubles he did have. Just felt like when the ball hit his bat, it would just find a gap, and then he'd be on second. Runners would score. He'd hit us with the DJ move. He was the most impactful on the offense. He was the guy that you wanted at the plate when there was runners in scoring position. Any clutch moment, he was the one that you would throw in there. Laser beams pointed at the death gun pointed at Earth. I'm choosing Contreras. So this man is our silver slugger, and he's our MVP.
He could hit it anywhere he wanted on the field, every direction. You know, he could hit it to your mom if he wanted to.
Oh god, he hit one almost. I can't remember who it was against, but almost out of the stadium. It was like a 460-foot bomb, and it's like that's just how you know.
Out the window.
He's just got that power. He's got that dog in him, man.
He does
He's
have
got
that
that
dog
dog
in
in
him.
him.
Yes,
you hang him a slider or a curveball, that shit's getting sent out of Milwaukee.
It just felt like throughout, like the media just, I don't know, like you'd be scrolling through all these posts and he just was like really never even talked about until all of a sudden it was like, oh, who's your silver slugger for the catcher position? And everybody in the comments was like, William Contreras, no doubt, it's him.
Yeah.
Somebody was just like, I don't know why he wasn't picked up because he was just our star player, and I guess the Brewers don't get that much media coverage, but yeah, he deserves it.
That's our prestigious awards ceremony. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
Next time.